as Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri battled fiercely on track in pursuit of the upper hand in F1's 2025 title race. The real chaos was unfolding behind them. A furious Charles Leclerc erupted over team radio as yet another Grand Prix unraveled before his eyes. What had started as an almost unbelievable pole position for Leclerc, one that should have put him in prime contention, crumbled once again, marking a staggering decline with only one win in his last 16 pole starts. The Monegasque driver was livid over secretive changes Ferrari made to his car mid-race, a move that seemed to sabotage his chances entirely. Meanwhile, further down the grid, Lewis Hamilton found himself locked in a painful struggle against midfield teams and rookie challengers, trying desperately to claw back from a disappointing 12th-place qualifying result. It was a weekend to forget for the Scuderia, and while the exact cause of the chaos remained under wraps during the race, clues began to emerge. What happened to Hamilton? What triggered Leclerc's collapse from pole? Today, we'll dive into Hamilton's miserable Hungarian GP and reveal how Leclerc came dangerously close to being disqualified. You won't want to miss this. Music. Hamilton endured one of his worst-ever weekends at the Hungarian Grand Prix, failing to make it past Q2 and landing 12th on the grid for Sunday's race. This, while his Ferrari teammate stormed to the team's first pole of the season, highlighting just how off the pace Hamilton really was. The seven-time world champion has struggled to adapt to his new team this season, trailing Leclerc 12-5 in qualifying head-to-heads, with an average deficit of 0.146 seconds per lap. His qualifying woes mirror the struggles he had against George Russell during his final year at Mercedes in 2024. While fans and pundits initially chalked it up to car adaptation, Hamilton himself shot that theory down in Hungary, bluntly stating, "I drove terribly. It is what it is, I'm just useless." The poor performance, he said, was not the car's fault. While Hamilton had shown signs of improvement in recent races, aside from that surprise sprint win in China, he was rarely able to outpace Leclerc. And after a brief return to form, his last two race weekends have brought him crashing back to earth. In Spa just 1 week earlier, Hamilton failed to make it out of Q1 after 2 errors in 2 laps. That same Belgian GP saw Ferrari introduce a new rear suspension, an upgrade designed to allow for lower ride heights without damaging the car's floor and to improve drivability when paired with a new floor upgrade introduced in Austria 3 races prior. Leclerc credited the new setup for helping him gain confidence over one-lap qualifying runs. Sadly for Hamilton, it did nothing. After the Hungarian GP, Hamilton was visibly crushed. Starting 12th, expectations were modest, especially with a Haas and 2 racing bulls ahead of him, but hopes of climbing the order still lingered. Yet, despite one of those Haas cars retiring, Hamilton still finished 12th, even losing a position to Mercedes rookie Andrea Kimi Antonelli. Speaking post-race, Hamilton hinted at deeper issues behind the scenes. "There's a lot going on in the background that is not great. So I'm sure there are positives to take from the weekend, and I'm sure there's learnings." As is often the case when Hamilton underperforms, the F1 rumor mill went into overdrive. Was Hamilton washed? Would he even finish the season with Ferrari? Was an early exit on the cards? At the very least, Hamilton dismissed that theory, stating he would return after the summer break for the Dutch Grand Prix. "I'm looking forward to coming back," he said. "I'll be back, yeah." Still, Hamilton didn't help tamp down the speculation when he half-joked that Ferrari should change driver after his qualifying disaster. It was a bruising weekend for the legend, one that could have been easier to swallow if not for his teammates' own bizarre downfall. Because while Hamilton's deficit seemed like a pure driver performance issue, Leclerc's collapse hinted at something deeper. His surprising and furious radio tirade mid-race took the paddock by storm as he lashed out at his engineer over secret car changes that obliterated his pace. And this wasn't just frustration, it was a revelation. Before we get into that, and the shocking details about how Leclerc nearly got disqualified, if you're enjoying the video and want to stay updated on all the latest F1 drama and analysis, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to F1 Reverse. Thanks a lot. Music. Now back to the drama. When Leclerc exploded over team radio accusing Ferrari of making his car completely undrivable after a pit stop, fans and commentators alike were stunned. His pace had vanished. Oscar Piastri swept past him without resistance. And while the team initially blamed it on vague chassis issues, the story didn't add up. Fred Vasseur, Ferrari's team boss, admitted after the race, the situation was quite strange. "We were under control for the first 40 laps, then the last stint was a disaster." He hinted at potential chassis failure, but admitted the team didn't know what happened. "At one stage, I thought we'd never finish the race," Vasseur said. "We're lucky to score points with P4. Leclerc echoed similar sentiments, but few believed the official line. His furious radio rant about unauthorized car changes hinted at something Ferrari didn't want to admit. The answer may lie in their Saturday heroics. The SF-25 is not the fastest car on the grid. It shouldn't have taken pole by almost 3/10, especially with Leclerc running a surprisingly low downforce setup on a high downforce track. When Leclerc maintained that pace into the race, it became clear Ferrari had found a performance trick. That trick? Ride height. Ferrari's car was throwing up sparks like a fireworks show, and there was a precedent. The last time Ferrari looked this fast was in China, where Hamilton won the sprint in a car that was later disqualified for illegal plank wear. That performance had been made possible by slamming the car low to the ground. In Hungary, it looked like Ferrari was trying that trick again. A lower ride height boosts performance, but it brings a massive risk, excessive plank wear, which can lead to disqualification. This also explains the low downforce setup. By keeping downforce minimal, Ferrari tried to avoid compressing the car too much on straights, thus reducing plank wear. Their strategy was to qualify well, which they did, and control the race from the front, which almost worked. But the gamble came at a price. As sparks flew and plank wear mounted, Ferrari panicked. They must have seen the wear data mid-race and feared disqualification, prompting the mid-race setup changes that destroyed Leclerc's balance. Clues were there before Leclerc's lap 40 pit stop. On lap 22, just 8 laps after his first stop, Leclerc warned, "I can feel what we discussed before the race. We need to discuss this before we do it. We are going to lose this race with this thing. I'm now losing so much time." He was likely referring to rising tire temperatures caused by increased tire pressures, another tactic to raise ride height and protect the plank. It was a huge gamble, one that could have worked under different conditions. If rain had fallen, if Piastri had backed off, if a safety car had neutralized the field, any of these scenarios might have helped Leclerc survive the race without triggering plank disqualification. But none of them came. Instead, George Russell surged past Leclerc to steal a podium, and post-race he didn't hold back. They were close to being illegal. The only thing we can think of is they were running the car too low and had to increase tire pressures for the last stint. Russell added that when he caught up to Leclerc, he noticed Ferrari using a slower engine mode at the end of the straights, where plank wear is at its worst. This mode change, he speculated, was a last-ditch effort to protect the floor. That would also explain why Piastri overtook Leclerc so easily and why Leclerc had to defend aggressively against Russell. It wasn't just racecraft, it was desperation. And unlike Leclerc, Hamilton didn't have to manage this issue, which made the gap between the two seem even wider. In the end, what could have been Ferrari's first win of 2025 spiraled into yet another headline-grabbing fiasco, one the team has become all too familiar with. So what did you make of Ferrari's wild Hungarian Grand Prix weekend? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to support the channel, head over to F1Reverse.com to grab yourself some exclusive F1-inspired merch. Until next time, drive safe and bye for now.